Hey everyone, welcome to Rookie Swing. I'm Matt, a complete beginner at golf, no handicap, just a few sessions at the driving range under my belt. Now, you'd think growing up in Scotland, the home of golf, I'd have been out on the course since I was young. But despite living next to two beautiful links courses and having friends who played from an early age, I never really fancied it. It wasn't until I hit 40, the big 40, that I decided to finally pick up a club. And funny enough, it was actually my son who got me into it. I signed him up for lessons at the driving range, and after hitting a few balls alongside him, I started getting hooked myself. I thought, why not? This could be a brilliant way to connect with him and enjoy the sport together. So here I am, just starting to find my way around the basics, though I'll be honest, I'm still figuring out how to get any decent distance on my shots. It's a work in progress. Now, the idea of playing my first round solo is pretty daunting. I'm nervous about showing up as a complete beginner, not knowing the rules, the etiquette, or even which club to use when. And I can't quite shake the worry that I'll look out of place or hold up more experienced players. But here's the plan. Before I brave the course, I'm going to try out every club in my bag right here at the range. I know it's different from hitting off real grass, but it's a start. I thought it would be fun to document this journey, not just for myself, but for anyone else thinking about taking up golf later in life. I'm planning to share everything from my practice sessions and lessons learned to the inevitable mistakes and light bulb moments. It's not about becoming a pro, it's about having a laugh, learning as I go, and hopefully inspiring a few of you to pick up a club too. If you're on a similar path, or just here for a laugh, hit that subscribe button, and let's enjoy the ups and downs of golf together. So I've just finished up with my sand wedge, and now I'm moving on to the pitching wedge. The clubs I'm using are actually second-hand ones I found online. They're about 10 years old, but still in pretty good condition. The plan for today was just to warm up with these wedges, and then move on to the bigger clubs that I haven't tried out yet. I'm still getting the feel for each one, and it's all part of the learning process. I have to admit the nerves are definitely kicking in, not just because I'm a beginner, but it feels like everyone around me is watching my every shot. I can't be the only one who felt this way the first time they went to the range, right? And to make things even more awkward, I've got my camera set up behind me, like I should be some sort of pro documenting my every move. Does anyone have any tips on how to shake off the anxiety? Or does this just ease with time as I become more confident? I could definitely use some advice. Alright, now I'm working with the 9-iron. As you can see, I'm trying to keep these shots straight, but it's still a bit of a mixed bag. Some go where I want them to, others, not so much. This 9-iron, like the rest of my set, is second hand. It's about 10 years old, but still feels pretty solid. I'm just trying to get comfortable with it and figure out how to make these shots more consistent. I'm going to speed these up a little so I don't bore you, but I also wanted to show every shot, for beginners like me, and so I can look back on my progress. I didn't want to just post a highlight reel or my best 10 shots. It's all part of the learning experience. Now I'm onto the 7-iron, and I've got to say I'm really starting to feel it in my body. Swinging these clubs is no joke. I've been watching the other players around me with trays of balls, and honestly at this stage I have no idea how they managed to hit so many. I ordered 4 trays, 40 balls in each, so that's a total of 160. And here I am only just coming up to the halfway point. It's definitely a workout, but I guess this is part of building up that stamina and getting used to the swing. Now I'm moving on to the 5-iron, and right away I can tell this one's a lot trickier. My shots are coming out really low, which makes me think I might be doing something wrong. I think the 5-iron should fly higher than this, but I'm not entirely sure. I just can't seem to get the ball up in the air. It's definitely harder to hit, and the club angle feels much different compared to the previous ones I've used. I guess this is where the real challenge begins. If anyone has any tips on how to get better loft with the 5-iron, or what I might be doing wrong, I'd really appreciate it. Now I'm trying out the 3 hybrid club. Before I got started, I did a quick check online to see if I needed to hit this off the tee or not. Turns out, the 3 hybrid is essentially a replacement for the 3-iron, which is known for being one of the tougher clubs to hit. Since I don't have a full set of irons, no 3-iron, the previous owner must have bought this hybrid to fill that gap. The hybrid is designed to be more forgiving, helping you get the ball up in the air more easily, even from the fairway or rough. It's a fun-looking club, kind of a cross between an iron and a wood, and I have to say it's the first time I've seen any sort of real distance with my shots. This one might just become a favourite in my bag. So before I could hit my second shot with the driver, there was a bit of an awkward moment. The first shot was set up by the staff at the range, so I didn't think much of it. But when it came time for the second shot, I realised I had no idea how the automatic ball loader worked to tee up the driver. I just started playing around with the machine, pushing buttons and fiddling with it until I finally got it working. It was definitely a bit confusing at first, but I managed to figure it out in the end. It's one of those rookie moments where you realise there's always something new to learn, even before you take a swing. And now it's time for the big dog, the beast, the bomber, the big stick, the boomstick, the fairway finder. Or at least that's what I hope it'll be someday. The real reason I came here today is to try and avoid embarrassing myself when I step onto the first tee next week. Let me tell you, hitting this thing was no joke. It's a whole different game compared to the other clubs. My shots were all over the place. Some went left, some right, and a few didn't really go anywhere at all. The sound it makes when you hit it is so loud, it felt like everyone at the range was watching every shot I took. After a few attempts, I had to throw in the towel. It was just too inconsistent, and honestly, I started feeling a bit self-conscious with how much attention it seemed to draw. I guess mastering the driver is going to take a lot more practice than I thought. This is me trying out the 3 wood, and honestly it looks so small in comparison to the driver. I wasn't really sure about the tee height here. The ball looked really high, but the tee was rubber and didn't seem like it could be adjusted. So I just tried my best to line my swing up for impact, but it felt a little shaky. After a few attempts, I decided to try hitting a few off the mat to see if it was any easier. It actually felt better and seemed easier to hit compared to the high tee. I was getting some good shots, still low but with decent distance. Surprisingly, I was hitting it further than my driver, which was strange but a nice confidence boost. This is the last club for today, the 5 wood. I decided to replicate what I did with the 3 wood and hit it off the mats instead of using the tee. It felt pretty good, and I actually enjoyed hitting this one, getting some decent shots in. I'm curious though, let me know in the comments if this is how you would practice with the 3 and 5 woods at the range, or if I should be working on hitting it off the big tee instead. I'd love to hear your thoughts. As we wrap things up here, I've got to say I had fun today, even though it wasn't easy coming in as a complete beginner. If I have any advice for others looking to give golf a try, it's this: just go for it. Honestly, it can't be as intimidating as setting up a camera and tripod behind you while you're still figuring things out. I had some balls left over, so I decided to go back to the pitching wedge. I spotted a little red pin that looked like a good target, and I figured, why not try to get the ball as close as I could? This was way more fun and really made me think, maybe I should have done something like this from the beginning, instead of just whacking a bunch of balls with no real game plan, other than trying to hit it straight and use every club at least once. To my surprise, I was getting pretty close to the pin, and it was super exciting. I guess this was the boost I needed at the end of my session. It felt great to see some real progress, even if it was just with the pitching wedge. It's funny how a small change in focus, like aiming for that pin, can make such a big difference in how much you enjoy the practice. This little victory has definitely got me looking forward to my next session. Maybe I'll start incorporating more targets and challenges to keep things interesting and help me improve faster. As I wrap up for today, I'm reminded that golf is really about finding those moments of joy, no matter how small they might be. Whether you're just starting out like me, or have been playing for years, it's those little wins that keep you coming back. Thanks for sticking around and watching. If you've got any tips or suggestions on how I can keep improving, I'd love to hear them in the comments. And if you're on your own golf journey, remember to enjoy the process. Those small wins will keep you motivated. I've been hitting balls called Srixon, if that means anything. Alright, here we go, last ball. Please, please, please make it a good one. Boom! Get in there. That was perfect, straight at the pin. What a way to finish the session. It's moments like this that make all the practice worth it. Next up, I'm hoping to take this practice to an actual course next week. I'll be showing you every shot, no matter how good, bad, or ugly. It's going to be a real test, but I'm excited to share the experience with you all. Stay tuned and wish me luck. Alright, it's time for Rookies Roundtable, question time. Since I'm still figuring things out, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the best way to practice at the range. Do you work through all your clubs or focus on just a few? How many balls do you hit in a session? Any tips on setting up a game plan instead of just hitting ball after ball like I did today? And if you're also new to golf, share what's working for you and what's been challenging. Let's use this space to help each other out. Whether you've got some experience to share or you're just starting out like me, your insights could make a big difference for someone else. Looking forward to hearing from you in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future adventures on the golf course. Thanks so much for watching and for supporting me on this journey. I really appreciate every single one of you tuning in. See you next time.